And things have changed. One of the things that has changed over the years is that women are we're all over the place now. It used to be that you wouldn't find women in the positions that we're in today. I have to recommend you 2 books. I'm a teacher, so I have to give you your reading assignment. One, Indian Givers. Look it up on the internet. Indian Givers by Jack Weatherford. How the Indians of the Americas transformed the world. It's wonderful. It won't break your heart either. Just teach a bunch of stuff. The other one, Dr. Luann Bresendine. She wrote a book called The Female Brain. This is an important book. She was on the faculty of neuropsychiatry at Harvard. She's a Yale graduate herself. And when the new technology came along, she took advantage of it because at some point she realized that in the whole history of neuropsychiatry, only male brains had been studied. Every single one of the cadavers had been male. How can that be? And everybody figured, I guess, that the female brain was just a little, just a little smaller and a little bit broken. So now that you have technology where you can see the brain actually thinking and what's lighting up and which hormones are involved and all of this, we're totally different. This is very exciting. It's not as though either sex is better than the other. It's not like that. We have incredible power if we can work together. For instance, women have a different kind of vision than men have. If you have a bunch of men sitting in say a warehouse, and they're sitting along like high school kids at a dance. They're sitting along in a row, right? And an attractive woman comes in the room, right? And they all go, yep. They all see it, right? Okay, same scenario, now it's women sitting along on the same bench. Attractive man comes in, nobody moves a muscle, but every single woman can pass a test on how tall he was, his body shape, his hair color, his style of walking, everyone, right? Okay. It's cute, but it's also real. We have a kind of peripheral vision that we need in order to manage our lives, whether we're talking about caveman days or right now. Men need to be able to work silently in a group, right? Teamwork, right? They need to be able to run down a deer. They have incredible tunnel vision. Oh, no, focus. But women, we do it differently, right? And it turns out, I don't know whether you knew it, or did you know that all fetuses are female until a certain point in the pregnancy when a certain hormone is released and the front of the male brain is burned out. Certain cells are burned out. And those cells are replaced with cells for sex and aggression, right? Testosterone and vasopressin. But in women, the cells that are retained have to do with, dig it, communication, right? And conflict avoidance. And these are important points to keep in mind when you're working together as teamwork. Don't expect your husband or wife or your colleague to be like you. I mean, women think men are crazy, men think women are crazy. We're not. This is a great thing to know. We can accomplish incredible things if we realize that we have additional tools. We not only have telescopes, we have binoculars and microscopes. We have incredible tools within us to make the world a better place. Here's some examples of change. My Cradleboard teaching project, the reason that I started, I use one problem to solve the other. That's a very female way to think. The problem at the time was that teachers did not have accurate, enriching teaching materials about Native American people, arts, culture, anything. They just didn't have the tools. When my son was in the 5th grade, we had just finished doing Sesame Street, and his teacher came to me and said, I'm required by law to teach an Indian unit, but I don't have any tools. And we looked at her materials. They're the same stupid stuff that they were trying to lay on me when I was a kid, right? They weren't out there. Okay, Native American people suffer all our lives from being misperceived because of the same lack of materials. So what I did, female brain, what I did was I put Native American classes from my reserve at Star Blanket Reserve in Saskatchewan in touch with non-Indian classes, in this case in Hawaii. And the kids got to know each other through all kinds of sharing. So we were putting Native American people into the driver's seat of delivering our own self-identity. This is the kind of thing that you can do through arts. The curriculum that we wrote, sponsored by our own Nihiwan Foundation and about 15 years of just me and my Nihiwan Foundation on my own dime, was supplemented by a great grant from Kellogg. Also, Ford helped us a lot. We made a CD-ROM that you can get on a DVD called Science Through Native American Eyes. We're teaching the principles of sound, the principles of friction, and the benefits and constraints of various Native American housing materials. Science through Native American eyes. We're doing it through cultural perspectives. Anybody can have this idea. We could be teaching through African village perspectives, this village, that village, that village. Everybody has science. Science wasn't invented in Europe. No, everybody has science. We have Native American astronauts, only nobody knows it, you know. There's so much incredible stuff that you as grantors, working with people as artists, can bring forward to make the world a better place. So that's one change that we did. We used one side of the problem to fix the other. That's kind of like the two kinds of brains that we have. We can use the male brain to help with the female brain and vice versa. A project that we're doing, that we're hoping to initiate at the Nihiwan Foundation has to do with World Heritage Sites, where we're combining the ancient with the contemporary. Holy smoke, when I was coming up, it was the same as it is now for me. I'll talk to a journalist who's not very knowledgeable, and they'll say, Buffy, are you more of an artist or an Indian? Or a woman? Or an activist? We can do it all. We're human beings, you know. As individuals, think of all the talents that you have, even though you may be working one job. We are talented. We are all still that 4-year-old at the beach. That's the inner person that you're funding, you know. You're not just funding a grant proposal, though I'm a funder. I know you have to have the grant proposal. But in your heart, you might be funding something that's going to go on and do something you never dreamed of. So with the World Heritage Sites projects, we're connecting Mesa Verde, the kids, the teachers, the museums, the national park, and the entrepreneurs. We're connecting them with the same groups of people in Oaxaca, those huge, huge pyramids, also with the Mayan pyramids in Belize, and also with other people at Paquimé. So this is connecting the local and the global, and it's connecting the ancient and contemporary. Coffee houses. Do you remember coffee houses? Students could get together. I mean, the drug in the early 60s was not heroin and alcohol. It was caffeine. Blap, 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 talk, 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 listen, 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 right? Coffee houses for students, safe places for students to get together, to share art, ideas. Where are they? They may be in your local communities. Check them out. Encourage those people. That's a good way to go. Wide playlists as opposed to narrow playlists. In the 60s, it was almost like it is now with the internet. You could hear flamenco next to Delta blues, next to British folk songs, next to songwriters. We have the internet now. This World Heritage Sites thing, connecting the kids and the artists and all, we call it revitalizing ancient trade routes. Because this is not something new. Oh, the Indians in Mexico can talk to the Indians in... No, There are things from the Arctic that are found in the biggest pyramid. You know where the biggest pyramid in the world is, if you measure it by the base? It's not Mexico, it's not Egypt, Cahokia, Illinois. And nobody knows about it, right? There are such exciting things out there that you can combine with the arts, that you can give people through the arts. The window of diversity that we have available to us now, it went away for a long time. Yes, I knew it in the 60s. You knew it in the 60s, but now it's there in the internet for all to share. And God bless Tim Berners-Lee. Tim Berners-Lee invented things like the World Wide Web, HTTP://. His team at CERN, I mean, a lot of people dissed me for using computers from the 60s through the 70s in movie scoring. And, you know, they say, oh, computers, that'll never last. No, computers. And you know what? The reason why it's lasting and what it is today is because Tim Berners-Lee decided against owning it. He and CERN could have owned it, but they said the information wants to be free. That's the kind of spirit to fund. I've been working with the Belinda Stronach Foundation, a wonderful foundation dedicated to kids in Canada, on a one laptop per child initiative where we're giving away thousands and thousands of kind of acrylic plastic computers that work very, very well. We give them away for free, and science through Native American eyes is part of it. So partnering and finding these interesting things that are very, very exciting is just part of the joy of giving. In between the medicine of the arts that we carry and the population who need our visions, our middlemen and gatekeepers will sink the boat of artists who don't give them a piece of the action. But grant makers can be the other side of that story. And sometimes you have to be tough. Sometimes you have to tell the truth to an artist and say, well, wait a minute, how you're giving all of this time and energy and money to somebody who's not really doing anything. But you have to be able to educate them. And in order to educate them, you've got to educate yourself. This might be something that, that we could do together. The sacred hoop is about treasuring each other. I want to thank you. I don't have a whole lot of time left right now, but with this moment that I have with you, I want to thank you for funding live music, for funding living artists, for keeping alive the museums, the ballets, the symphonies, who remind us that art has been with us for a very, very long time. And that what kids are doing in chalk on the sidewalk, in legal graffiti on billboards and allowable buildings. I mean, this is all art. Michelangelo lives down the street from you, and in granting money, and you're also giving legitimacy. You're giving support to families, and most of all, you're giving brilliance to the communities that we live in. And I thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure to meet so many of you, and I hope to see you guys again. Mitakuya, and thank you.